Man, I can't believe I told my small but beloved audience that I would be back in the new year, and now I'm sitting here with nothing important to say. Did you tell them that you think you can beat algorithm-based individualized pricing cheaply and effectively? That you've never owned or operated a paintball gun, but you're sure they can be used to disable a flock camera from outside the detection range? I don't think most people know what a flock camera is. That if the Confederacy and Nazis were both defeated in the past, they can be defeated now? I do believe that. That if the world survived 3 years without summer, it can make it through this? That your shirt hurts and the road looks long, and it is, but you can make it? Did you remember to tell them that, or did you just, forget that you have to convey things to people because not everyone has the same thoughts that you do? Alright, point made. Real quick, I've tried recording this several times and I'm just not happy with the way it sounds. I don't know if it's a self-confidence issue or whatever, but if you don't like the way it sounds, I'm leaving the entire script written down so that you can read it for yourself. Alright? Thanks. So, a More Perfect Union and Consumer Reports put out a video last month, December 2025, about how they'd been silently running tests on Instacart when they noticed that people were being charged different prices for the same items at the same store and at the same time when they ordered through Instacart. They uncovered that Instacart has been training a data model with the goal of maximizing how much they can charge each individual and then selling that data model to retailers, and they've been doing it for years. If you're interested to know more, I suggest you watch the video they put out. What interests me is that Instacart must have gotten quite a lot of pushback from people seeing what they've been doing in the shadows, because within days after that video went viral, they came out with a statement about no longer using that technology on their app. But here's the thing, they spent years putting research into individualized pricing. Retailers like Walmart have already invested in electronic barcodes that they can update completely remotely. They've sunk who knows how much money and time into this plan, and there's no reason to believe that it's not already being enacted. The problem then becomes that it's hard to prove, isn't it? And it's hard to make everybody around you aware of it. The channels that came out with this study, they already have a lot of subscribers, but a lot of people don't spend their time surfing YouTube. They don't watch the news. They put their time into jobs and hobbies, and they shop at the store. They could be getting scammed and not even know it. Compound this issue by claims that large retailers have hundreds of cameras getting different angles throughout their stores, running facial recognition technology on their customers that feeds into a price-setting technology, possibly some AI machine whose entire job it is to gaslight everyone. Well, you might never get close to the truth as an individual. But I see no reason to believe that we have to wait for the next Consumer Report or big scandal reveal video to have the scandal revealed. Solution is simple, my friends. We start by taking 2 small additional items with us to the store: pin and sticky notes. If you need to buy something where the price is solely indicated by an electronic price tag, no printed price on the package or shelf, and you think it's something a lot of people will be buying, you take the sticky note and write the date, time, product, and price. And you leave the note on the shelf close by the item. I imagine nobody will know what they're seeing at first. Maybe they'll have a moment of curiosity. Why did somebody take the time to write this? And they'll probably brush it off, especially if the prices match. But if the prices don't match, well, that might get their attention, especially if they're being charged more on the same day or in the same hour. You've already gone home, but you've managed to give somebody in your community an awareness they didn't have before. They never had to watch the news. First wave could leave something like, if it's different for you, you write one too, or something written on the note to help point people in the right direction. And there's no reason for us to clutter the shelves with a million stickies. You can leave room for the next person to add additional information to track if the price is changing or not. A factor that I cannot control but can address is honesty. I would prefer for everybody to be honest when they use this system. Personally, this whole thing is about keeping companies honest and honestly informing our neighbors about what's going on. Lying feels wrong in that context. I imagine lying will only result in some sort of legal action being taken by the companies, nothing at all, or force stores to go back to paper pricing faster, because you could lie to stir up outrage faster. Because lying here would only force the stores to revert to paper, I don't see much reason to worry about the companies interfering in this way. I'd personally only write down the truth, but the people who were thinking about lying already considered it, and I wanted to address it. And the more honest viewers may not have considered anybody lying if I didn't choose to bring it up. This makes everyone aware of the possibility in advance. Another factor we must consider is the employees whose job it will be to remove the notes. Logically, they should largely side with us. The companies that are min-maxing pricing for profit like this are not known for treating or paying their employees well. They have just as much reason as we do to look the other way if not specifically instructed to clean it up. What could be a hiccup comes from these company cameras feeding into AI recognition systems. Because a neon colored square with writing on it will be one of the easiest things to teach the computer to identify and alert an associate to which aisle it's in and have the notes removed quickly, or freeze the price until the notes are able to be removed. I actually like this problem because I think the solution is fun. Creative sticky notes. Any fun shaped sticky note you can find or cut out on your own. If it's not a basic shape, it's going to be much harder for them to train the cameras to recognize, and therefore harder to automate stopping you. And how does this help us? Well, by raising awareness, you create power to boycott and protest. A boycott hurts the company's profits, but it's not always feasible when we're talking about groceries and food deserts. A protest is a peaceful display of a reminder of power that can be used violently if a peaceful agreement is not met. A simple reminder that there's a lot more people in the area than there are people currently in charge of making decisions for that area. In your town, city, village, they have a board of people in charge of making rules for your area. In my town, it's less than a dozen people in charge of the city planning commission. They meet every other week or so, and the meeting is open to the public. You show up with 1 to 200 people, and they do find it hard not to be persuaded. Our city has a population somewhere around 20,000. Less than 1% of the population showed up to a town planning meeting one time, and you cannot convince me that it did not change at least one of the votes on that council. I'm not even sure 200 people, 1% of 20,000, can fit in that room where they hold the meeting. If you show up and show up collectively, you can change the laws. You will. So you demand to make it illegal for companies to have electronic price tags in your town. You could make a law about no store being allowed to use individualized pricing in your town, but how would you ever be sure that they're not doing that if they still have the tags they can change on a whim? Aim for both. One is good, two is better. The consequences of this. People whose job it is to run markdowns keep their jobs. Cities around you will be willing to drive to your town to shop at fair prices, theoretically increasing revenue for your town. And sure, if we go back to Walmart because they have paper prices, and they are the only place in the area to buy necessary goods, back to where we were, but we're at least not further down the road into a dystopian future. Honestly, the most direct way money will come back into your town from people visiting these days is probably when somebody tips their waiter. In the long term, it will take, I don't know, forming a co op and running a small town based grocery store to compete in places that are food deserts. And that may seem a pipe dream because how will you find like minded individuals who live near you to create a dream with? Well, you can talk to the other people who show up at City Hall before and after the meeting. You can exchange contact information and form a city Discord server. That'll probably help get you started. So, if you think that that would be a good idea, please give it a try. I can't do it alone, but together we can. Together strong. Thank you. What about all that other stuff? Just one thing at a time. There's enough going on, one thing at a time.